Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Greatly Remix and let's try to get some wins here. So we're going to feature the team around Shadow Magnezone paired with the Mandibuzz and the Alolan Ninetales. So we had a great lead. They switch out into their Victory Bell. Victory Bell is going to struggle against our Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz here able to resist their grass moves. They elect to go for the Acid Spray to debuff our defense. We go for the Aero Ace. It doesn't quite KO, but it does a huge amount of damage. They're going to elect to go for another move here. Leaf Blade debuffed, and we are able to survive it. So we do win that switch. Our opponent here comes back in with their Wall Rain. Luckily, we are able to get to two moves here to chip away at the Wall Rain. We're going to go for this Aero Ace to get it into the low yellow. And now we got to make a call. Do we think we go into our Magnezone or are we going to our Ninetales? We elect to go with the Ninetales. Let's see what they end up throwing. Ends up being an Earthquake. We do survive that, thankfully. And then they're going to stay in for a little bit. So maybe that gives us a hint that we are going to be favorable. And that is indeed the case. They have these cracked in the back and we are able to just farm down. Fast move charm, win the game. So that was a nice call by us. And that was unfortunate for them that we were running Charm Ninetales, because if it was Powder Snow, they would have a slight chance. All right, here we got the Artifacts to deal with. Artifacts in the lead here. I would say pretty favorable for this Magnezone. We like to go for the Mirror Shot here. We do get the debuff, so that is good news for us. However, Magnezone is not very tanky, so we are going to elect to shield here just so that we can potentially get to two moves. We go for another Mirror Shot. They decide to double shield, trying to get to another Mirror Shot, and our opponent does end up throwing the move. So we're just going to match their shields here and throw this Mirror Shot. This Mirror Shot, is it going to be enough to take it out? Not quite. Looking for the next Mirror Shot here. Because we got debuff, that probably was enough to make him survive. And we do see a Pelipper. Pelipper is going to tank a couple of Volt Switches, and they are already into the yellow. We're going to go into our Mandibuzz here to soak up all of this energy. They throw the Weather Ball, and then they're going to throw another Weather Ball here. We're going to try our best to throw in good timing here. This Dark Pulse potentially takes out this Pelipper. Not quite, still into the low red, but now you see why they didn't want to switch out immediately, because they have the Jellicent in the back, and luckily we do have the Mandibuzz for this. They are going to be able to throw a move. Ends up being the Surf. Doesn't quite KO, and we are going to be able to chip away at this Jellicent here. Looks like our opponent ended up giving up. Yeah, this was going to be tough for them because we still have the Ninetales still quite healthy. We're going to be able to farm it down, farm down the Jellicent probably, and then the Pelipper was very, very low. So GG's to our opponent. Mandibuzz coming in clutch at the back end right there. I guess the Magnezone was a core breaker for their team, right? The Jellicent, the Pelipper, and the Artifacts didn't really want to see that Magnezone. All right, horrible lead here. We got to get out of here. We're going into our Ninetales with Charm. They're just trying to stay in a little bit. So anticipating a Psycho Boost and Div situation, they go for the Psycho Boost. They stay in a little bit, and then they have the Double. Wow, Double in the back here to answer this Ninetales is kind of interesting. Because they did get the Psycho Boost Dip and Chip, they are going to be able to take out our Ninetales here after one charge move. We're going to let to come back in with our Magnezone here because we think we can get to this move before they can get to their big move. So Mirror Shot does get thrown, take out the Double. We expect the Defense Deoxys to come back in. We're going to go into our Mandibuzz immediately here, and unfortunately, it's going to be the Dedenne. Dedenne here hard walls the Mandibuzz with this moveset. If we were running Shadow Ball, maybe we would have been able to surprise them, but with this moveset, this is GG's, unfortunately, and they still have that Defense Deoxys is pretty healthy, so we're going to allow them to take us out. Unfortunate that the backline wasn't playable at the end, but that's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, they have the Dedenne paired with the Defense Deoxys. Kind of an interesting team right there, I'm not gonna lie. I guess it does protect against the dark weaknesses, so that makes sense. All right, next we have the Magnezone versus the Poliwrath. So we are going to be applying fast move pressure, but we don't like these counters, so we're going to switch out into our Mandibuzz. and they decide to stay in a little bit. They're going to throw the Icy Wind here to debuff our attack. We get met with a, what is that, Umbreon? So Umbreon here is going to be quite tanky, especially since we're debuffed and we have the health disadvantage. This Aero Ace is going to chip away, but you can see it's not really doing much. We're forcing them to use some energy here. They cannot farm us down. They use the last resort. It does get us into the red, but let's see how low we can get this Umbreon. So we're going to switch out into the Magnezone immediately so that we can get a little bit of energy head start. They do elect to come back in with their Poliwrath, but you can see we already add a move. We go for the Wild Charge. We do get the shield from our opponent, and then we're going to go into our Ninetales here. Ninetales is going to be able to apply a lot of fast move pressure. They decide to go for the Icy Wind debuff. We sniff it out, and now we got to try to win this game with the Ninetales. We're going to elect to go for this Weather Ball here, grab that last shield, and we're trying to catch a move. Our opponent doesn't throw the move immediately. However, we're going to have to shield here so that we can get to another move. Our opponent does still have the Umbreon. Umbreon is going to be their tank. We know that we got to try to come out of this situation with some energy. If not, get this Umbreon low enough so that our Ninetales can farm it down. So yeah, the Umbreon here is not going to be able to farm us down. They are forced to use some energy right here. They do have Foul Play, and then they're going to throw a Last Resort. We do shield the correct Last Resort. Very close to a move here. Let's see if we can get to this Weather Ball. Yes, we do. We get to the Weather Ball, and this is going to be GG's because Gligar here double with the ice, able to reach that with the Ninetales. And that was job well done right there. Sniffing out not only the Last Resort on the Umbreon and using that shield perfectly, but also coming out with exact energy so that our Ninetales has enough to throw that Weather Ball back at that Gligar. All right, here we got the Salazzle. This is a core breaker, so unfortunately we do not have a good answer for this. This is going to be our own chance, is to throw the Wild Charge, grab the shield, take the shield advantage, and then come in with our Mandibuzz. Our opponent here is electing to throw a move, ends up being the Poison Fang, and then they're going to be able to reach another move here. Potential Dragon Pulse, but we're going to let this go. Okay, Dragon Pulse does get used here, and it does a lot of damage, but it doesn't quite KO the Mandibuzz, so at least we save the shield right there. We elect to go into our Ninetales when the Salazzle is gone. They have the Manting, tanky Manting. Water Pulse does get used right there, and that is unfortunate because we were thinking that they would throw a bait like an Aero Ace, and unfortunately that was huge damage, and they're going to be able to just win the game with their backline. So GG's to our opponents, unable to beat that backline. If we had shielded that Water Pulse from that Manting, possibly we would have been able to grab a lot of energy and then throw it back at this Superior. But yeah, that was just like kind of a 50-50 call. So GG's to our opponent. They're going to be able to win this game here. This Superior is quite tanky for what it's worth, but looks like they already had another move on their Manting ready, so unable to win that game right there. Yeah, so let's see if you enjoyed this team, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.